Welcome in. Good to have you on this schedule release night. Friday night, September 5th, you're going to get the Chiefs, the Chargers, on the Chiefs on the road, by the way, taking on the Chargers. So we know that. We know, for the most part, the Packers are going to open up with the Lions at Lambeau Field. We know that now. That's going to be a 3:15 game. We're looking forward to that. And by the way, that's going to be one of our charity games for Big Unit Foundation. So we're excited about that. But welcome in, everybody, down live at the Wagon Wheel tonight. And I promised you we would do this, so we are. So feel free to ask questions. And I got to be honest with you, okay? I know there's been a lot of scheduled drops. The one thing about this is I've been out collecting wind therapy all day. I was out riding the Harley and hanging out. I went to Smoke on the Water. Took a quick pontoon ride around Okauchee Lake today. It's fantastic. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to everything coming up tonight. So I've tried to avoid. I've tried to avoid the schedule drop today, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it. So I guess the best way to do this is to begin to go at it. Apparently, the end of the year, you've got, what is it? The Vikings, the Lions, the Bears, then the Broncos, then the Bears, the Ravens, and the Vikings, and that's the kind of way the season ends up for the Packers. We're just kind of waiting on some of the times and such. But week one is exciting. You got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And a couple of good matchups, obviously the Lions and the Packers. That's one of the bigger matchups. The Kansas City Chiefs on Friday night, heading in Brazil, by the way, taking on the Chargers. You've got some rivals. You got the Bengals, Browns there. You got New York on the road taking on the Washington Commanders. But week one, Monday night, it's kind of cool because you got the Vikings and the Bears getting underway. So it starts with the Packers and the Lions, and then Monday night you end up with the which is kind of cool. You end up with the Vikings and the Bears, but don't forget you also have what seems to be the return of Aaron Rodgers into the Meadowlands for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's kind of interesting within itself because it looks like they're going to be on the road taking on the Jets. So we'll see kind of what happens here. But welcome in. Hopefully you've had a good day. Brewers got a win today, so excited about that. I know many of you I've been kind of, listening to Grant this evening. But a lot of, yeah, you're right, Andrew. A lot of division games coming up for the Packers at the end of the season. And I'm good with that. I like that because those become must-win games. I like that. It keeps the season exciting all the way down to the very end. Hopefully the Packers win quite a bit and they don't have to worry about the divisional games. But if they do, we're excited about that. And again, you look at week 9, they're talking about the Chiefs and the Bills right now at 3:25 afternoon game. Bills, I think, is it this year the Bills open up their new stadium, or is it next year? I don't know for sure. I think it's supposed to be this year, but boy, I saw some footage of it, and I don't think it's going to be this year. I think it's next year that they open it up. But yeah, kind of excited about all of that. You've got week 6. They're highlighting on Monday Night Football the Bears and the Commanders, 2 young quarterbacks getting a chance to duel it out against one another in Jaden Daniels and the Chicago Bears. The Bears will be on the road in Washington at that point in time. And those 2 guys, the top 2 picks in the 2024 draft from last year, they're going to get a chance to face off against one another. Nick, thank God the Crew had a hot win, but until they put a streak together, not going to get my hopes up. I agree with you. They need a run of 7, 8, 9 games. They need to get like 10 or 12 out of 15 or something like that to really kind of put it together and feel like they're back. But I would agree with that. So anyway, we're just kind of waiting for the second tier to drop. And as soon as it does, we'll fill you in. But it looks like the weird thing about the beginning of the schedule for the Packers is that the Packers in week 1, they open up at home against the Lions. The cool thing is they don't have to travel after that, but they turn right around. 2 games in the first 4 days of the NFL season. They got the Commanders on Thursday Night Football at 7:15 Central Time back at Lambeau Field. So they start off with back-to-back games right out of the chute. Then they go on the road. They take on the Browns. They go on the road. They take on the Cowboys. They go down to Dallas and Big D. And then week 5, it comes early. It comes early. They have the bye in week 5, it looks like. Then they get Cincinnati comes to town, week 7. They go on the road in back-to-back weeks against the Cardinals and the Steelers. In the Steelers game, obviously, that's gonna be a highlighted game, you would assume, because that'll be the Packers taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, obviously, you're gonna have, after that, the Panthers coming to town. That's a Sunday game. The Eagles for Monday Night Football the week after that. They go up back on the road for the Giants. Then they get the Vikings in week 12. The Lions in week 13. They play on Thanksgiving again. Again. I mean, look, it's there's a reason why, right? It's because they're a draw. And the game, remember 2 years ago when the Packers, that kind of kicked it off, that incredible run they went on when I was broadcasting live from Rhode Island at that point in time. Remember that? And I said, where in the hell has this team been all season? And all of a sudden, they just took off. They just looked like they were a completely different team. And that was the largest rated Thanksgiving Day game ever. And they've done it again. They're going for the ratings. So you get the Lions on Thanksgiving. The week after that, you get the Bears coming to town. I believe that's December 7th. And then they go to Denver after that. So they go to Denver, and that is a late afternoon game. Then they come back on a Saturday, and then they got to travel to Chicago. After going to Denver, they come back. Then they got to travel to Chicago on a Saturday, a short week. They take on the Bears. Then they get the Ravens back at Lambeau Field, and then they go on the road again to take on the Minnesota Vikings. So 4 of the last 6 games are on the road, and you've got some games in short weeks and turnarounds that are in there as well. That's kind of the way it went. I guess a couple of things that come to mind, first and foremost, is the Packers are still a draw. There's still a ton of interest. They have not decided what that game in Week 18 is going to be as far as with the Vikings, but they're going to have some Thursday games, Monday Night Football game, a Saturday game around Christmas. We know that the game on November 10th with the Eagles is going to be a Monday Night Football game, like I had mentioned. So you're going to get the primetime draw for the Green Bay Packers. They're still, even with the down season that they had last year, they're still a draw, man. They still create a buzz. So the Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit was the shizzle, according to Chris. I agree, Brett. He said week 5 bye stinks. It does unless you need it. You know, it does unless you need it. If you get injured, and remember, they got back-to-back games in 4 days to start the season. So they get an early bye, and you look at it and you go, man, this sucks. They need a bye mid-season or later in the season. But you also look at this and you go, okay, if they've got some injuries and they've got some problems early on, then the bye can also be a blessing at that point in time, that early in the season. So that's kind of the way things work out for the Packers. And we already knew who the opponents were. We already knew the home and away. We just didn't know the date and the time. And now we do. A couple of things that I want to announce here. I'm going to make a note of. For those of you, anybody live in the Tomahawk area, or maybe you're going to Tomahawk this year for the Tomahawk Fall Ride, raise your hands out there. We are going to do the game on Thanksgiving, or no, excuse me, during the Tomahawk Fall Ride, which is the game on the Thursday night game when the Commanders come to Lambeau Field. It's one of the games I will not be at Lambeau Field. We are going to be live in Tomahawk, and we'll be broadcasting all over the state, but we'll be live in Tomahawk, Wisconsin from Castaways Bar and Grill. Castaways Bar and Grill. And we're going to be doing the show up there. The whole motorcycle rally is going to be going on. The next day is the parade. Harley Davidson has a big display up there. You got great bands, great food. The street vendors will all be there. But that Thursday night, we are going to be live at Castaways Bar and Grill up in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. So that's really cool. So I'm excited about that. I'm not excited about missing a game at Lambeau Field, but we'll be live in Tomahawk. So again, also I want to let you know we will have the Green and Gold postgame show from Lambeau for home games. We will be live at Burkle's Sports Bar and Grill, right behind Stadium View, right next to the RV lot. look for us. As a matter of fact, our very first game, we're taking a group up that won a trip to go see the Packers and the Lions. And that game is obviously it's going to be the first game of the season. It'll be a big game. But more so than anything, it's also going to be a game in which we take a lot of supporters of Big Unit Foundation who donated a lot of money for veterans, first responders, and military members. We're taking a lot of them with us, and we're going to have a great tailgate out of Berkel's. We're going to have a lot of fun. It should be absolutely awesome. And that game is a 325 game. So we're going to get up there early. So come over to Berkel's and say hi. We're going to have the 2025 version of the Big Unit Cruiser up there. It is going to be a great time. And we hope that you can come up and join us and see us up there. So that's it. That's it. It's a fun schedule. I have not looked yet. I haven't written everything down because I haven't seen the times yet. Between the NFL and what they're doing, and then ESPN and what they're doing when it comes to highlighting all of their games, the Monday Night Football games, I have not had a chance to really see what it is they're releasing right now. So, and I'm doing everything I can to pay attention to it, and I'm trying to kind of read all of this and follow. But as soon as we get to the NFL Network, I'll pull that down too. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season. So, oh well, now they're doing the Monday night games and the Thursday night games. So there you go. That's what they're releasing. So anyway, any questions tonight? Any questions? Would love to hear from you. If you got any questions, if you got something over, by the way, if you want to hit us up, you can text us. Give us a shout. Text us at 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. If you want to find us there, feel free to go ahead and do so. Again, this is from Catsuit Babe. Catsuit Babe says, I see the Green Bay Packers winning 9 games this season. What are your thoughts? I don't see them winning 9 games. I don't see them winning 9 games. I see them winning. I'm going to start at 10. If you go through it, Detroit, I like this. I like the first game of the season at home. I like it. Detroit's got all new coordinators, new assistant coaches. They've got a really good football team, but you're getting them before they get into the rhythm. While the Green Bay Packers, they have the same old, same old. Okay. And they're playing at home. They're opening up at home. So I like that game. I like the Packers to get that game. You've got the Thursday night game. The team that travels on Thursday night already has a percentage against them because they're traveling on a quick turnaround day or a quick turnaround week. I like the Packers to get off to 2-0. They go to Cleveland, 3-0. They go to Dallas, 4-0. Cincinnati coming to town, unless their defense gets fixed and they sign Trey Hendrickson, 5-0. Arizona, 6-0. I think they could beat the Packers to go 7-0. Carolina coming to town, 8-0. Philadelphia coming to town, 8-1. At New York, 9-1. Minnesota, tough game. Minnesota will be in the groove by then. Maybe a loss there. In Detroit, Thanksgiving Day, loss there, 9-3. Chicago coming to town, they'll split with Chicago. Chicago coming to town, they'll split with Chicago. Say we'll call that home game and win. 10-3 at Denver, 11-3 at Chicago, 11-4. Baltimore, 11-5 at Minnesota, 11-6. 10 wins, give or take. 10 wins, give or take. But I like the timing of some of this. You get the Lions before they get a chance to get into a rhythm with all of their new coordinators and coaches. But I say 10 or 11 wins just because of the timing of things and where they're playing. They've got to own the two big things. Chris. Oh, there's my buddy Chris. Come on, Bill. They're not beating Dallas. Until Dallas gets out of their own way, I'll pick everybody against Dallas, except for some of the really bad football teams. Tom says, no way they go 9-0. You're probably right, Tom. They probably take a loss in there, but I'm looking at things kind of saying, who would I favor? Maybe we go in that direction. Who would I favor? Right? You get again, my explanation is what it is. When you look at the schedule, you get Detroit before they really get a chance to figure things out with coordinators and coaches. They get Washington, road team doesn't travel real well. Look at Thursday night games and the road team success. Okay, especially teams that are favored. Not a lot. I'll take the Packers at home. You go from there. Now, could they end up losing 2 of those games and only get 9 wins? Sure. Sure. That's what I said. I started about like 10, 11, give or take a game. But I'm kind of starting in that direction. Now, I think the biggest thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the biggest thing that I'm predicating all this upon is Jordan Love taking the next step. If Jordan Love doesn't take the next step, if he's not hitting those intermediate passes, and if he not going through progression of reads, not quick to get rid of the football, not putting it in the hands of playmakers, if they lead the league in drops, that changes things, you know. But I look at the way this schedule sets up, and I think it could be pretty favorable for the Packers. So there you go. There you go. What are you thinking? Give me predictions. And Craig, all comes down to Jordan Love and how improved the pass rush is. What if they go 5-4 in the first 9 games? So, okay, you're saying they lose to Detroit, lose to Washington, beat Cleveland, lose to Dallas. Cincinnati and that high-powered offense gets them. They beat Arizona. Pittsburgh gets them. They beat Carolina, lose to Philadelphia. They could be, after 10, they could be 5-5, right? They could be 5-5. I mean, that's a legitimate reality. But I just look at the way the schedule sets up, and I get excited about it. So there you go. Packers just now putting out the actual official release of the schedule, by the way, the printable version. So here we go. So good stuff. Good stuff. Tom says, I'm not convinced the Packers team didn't get much better. 100% agree. I agree with you. What would make the Packers better? Let's talk about that for a minute. There's 2 things that would make the Packers better. 2 things. What would make the Packers better? The first one, 100%. It's got to be Jordan Love. He's got to step up his game. Without a doubt. If he doesn't take that big step forward, then all bets are off. You're talking about maybe an 8-win team. Because they're going to face some really good defenses and defenses that can get after you, right? Philadelphia lost a few. I think they lost 4 guys off of that defense from last year, right? Pittsburgh, you never know what you're going to get in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a banged up defense. They got a good defense, not a great defense in Baltimore. Cincinnati doesn't have much of a defense, specifically beyond Trey Hendrickson. Let's be honest. I'm trying to kind of go through this and look at it this way. Arizona's not a stout defense. Dallas can get after it. Cleveland's got a good defense led by Myles Garrett, who just signed a big new contract, and they've got a championship caliber defense. They just have craptastic offensive play. They got 47 quarterbacks, and I don't think any of them are really that great. Think about this. They get the New York Jets in the preseason, the Colts in the preseason, and the Seattle Seahawks in the preseason. Saturday. I'm not a fan of Saturday preseason games. I don't know why. I'm just not. Not a fan of those games. Although it does make the weekend kind of comfortable to look forward to stuff, you know? And that, by the way, that first one against New York at Lambeau Field, you know, if you don't go to that, you'll be at State Fair is going to be going on. You can go watch that game from State Fair. That's not a bad way to go, right? Kind of like that. So there you go. That's the schedule release. That's how it kind of shakes out. You've got how many? Let's go through this real quick. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, 6 depending on the Bears, that could be primetime or standalone games. Primetime or standalone games. Don't forget the game against the Bears on the 20th is going to be part of that doubleheader, so that's a standalone game. So the Packers are still a draw, man. 7 standalone primetime games, and that's including, by the way, Thanksgiving, which is going to be the early game in Detroit because it always is, but still, it's a standalone game. You excited? We now know. You excited? I'm excited. There you go. Hey, any questions before we get out of here? I mean, I know we've only been doing this about 20 minutes, but it's always fun to come down to the Wagon Wheel and hang out, chat with you a little bit. Anything? If they are a good team, they'll be 3-1 at the bye. 11-6 if Love and the defense is improved. I like the 11-6, Craig. Maybe Dallas can beat Green Bay so bad in week 4 that they fire LaFleur going into the bye week. Hey, I felt like a dream. Chris, you the man. Chris, are you at home or are you driving around? Are you in the truck? Bryce says 4-0 after the bye would be you are making a run. Damn straight. Nick says always excited for the Packers. Love that. What else am I looking at here? Nothing there. I got a couple of text messages too, by the way. Yeah, week 5 bye. I agree. Not a great way to go. Not a great way to go. Mark says, I think this is going to be a 10-win team. This is a good question. Art says, do you think 10 wins get you into the postseason? That's a great question. 10 wins this year, I think will. I don't think 9 wins will guarantee you a spot, but I think 10 wins will get you in. But 10 wins put you at like a 7 seed. You know, you're way down the totem pole there. But I think it'll get you in. But I'll tell you this. If the Packers get to 11 wins, they earned it. They got a hell of a schedule, man. Hell of a schedule. So that's it. We're going to talk about it coming up tomorrow. I'm excited. We're back at Burkle Sports Bar and Grill this year up in Green Bay. Our first game with Detroit. We're going to be bringing a whole group of people up there supporting veterans, military members, first responders, and their families for the Detroit game. Our Thursday night game, which is the second game of the season, on September 11th, we are going to be in Tomahawk, Wisconsin, doing the post-game show, the Green and Gold post-game show at Castaways Bar and Grill. Just, I'm thrilled, man. I'm excited. And we're going to fill other spots in. We'll probably do a few post-game shows on the road. The Huddle's going to be back again this year. And since we're not on the air, I would tell you this, and you are the only people that are going to know this. What is it? I don't know how many people are on all the streams. But we're close to coming back on the air somewhere. How about that for a tease? Huh? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're thinking maybe 30 days from an announcement. Yeah. Yeah. How about that, huh? Love it. Love it. That's it. Chris, you the man. Rick, you the man. And yes, the Christmas party I can now plan. That's freaking fantastic. I love it. All right, gang. Great to talk to you. Great to see you. A little bit of insight. I'll examine it a little bit more, and I'll give you more tomorrow. But it should be a fun Packer season. So now that we know the schedule, now what we know we're doing in the fall, in August, and in the wintertime, I think now we can go on and just relax and enjoy our summer. There you have it. All right. Time for me to get out of here. We will talk again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time. I hope to see you all.